belongs to Michelob.
Hello and welcome to Play That Rock and Roll, where we take a look back at the albums and artists of the classic rock era. Today, we'll be taking a look at our first ever compilation album, which was only released on cassette. This is Michelob Night Hits, and for my younger viewers who might not know, Michelob is a beer. Ugh, a really bad beer. Yeah, the only time people my age and younger ever encounter this crap is because it's either the free beer at a college house party, or because you grabbed a few $2 tall boys at a gas station for a tailgate or for walking around in a city with no open container laws. This beer sucks, so it may come as some surprise that this was not always the case. In fact, Michelob billed itself as a premium beer all through the 80s.
Michelob. It could make tonight the best part of your day.
And part of that was due to a very successful and stylized ad campaign built around the slogan, "The Night Belongs to Michelob." Some of these TV ads were directed by Ridley Scott, and most featured some very well-established rock stars. From 1986 to 1988, artists like Eric Clapton, Genesis, Wang Chung, Steve Winwood, Roger Daltrey, Phil Collins, and even Frank Sinatra all made appearances in the ads.
In the way you look tonight.
In an effort to build upon this success, Michelob partnered with Warner Brothers to release a compilation album on cassette called Night Hits. Some of you still might be confused. Why would a beer company want to sell cassette tapes? Well, back then, and for a really long time, selling compilation albums was very common and very lucrative.
Remember, Sounds of the 70s is not sold in stores, so don't wait. Call now.
I have no doubt that everyone my age and older has plenty of memories of seeing short ads like these on TV, and maybe even longer infomercials for them late at night. As someone who did not have cable, I definitely watched some of those Time Life infomercials. Anyway, I imagine Michelob released this cassette hoping to make some money, or at the very least, to create some, synergy with their beer sales. Michelob released two of these tapes, one in 1987 and one in 1988. I only have the first one, but we will talk about both, so let's get started. Here's 1987's Michelob Night Hits. Hit it! So before we start, you can see that almost every song here has the word night somewhere in the title, which is a little on the nose. But it is appropriate as they're all based around the slogan, "The Night Belongs to Michelob," which implies that this music and this beer is meant to be enjoyed during your nighttime social activities, be it a party or a date or even a concert, just as long as it is a classy occasion. So let's see if these songs work for that idea. Here's the first track. Oh, this is a great song! Excellent way to start the album. Perfect song for a party back in the 80s. Or even today. You know, this song was a big punching bag for a long time for people who like to make fun of 80s music. But I think we're past that, and now people recognize this for the pop rock classic it is. Fits right in with stuff like Power of Love or Ghostbusters. The only weird thing about it being here is that Michelob used a different Wang Chung song for the commercial.
In the heat of the night, every time you're out of sight, I have to piece my life together.
This is the 1987 ad, and it used their song To Live and Die in LA, which was a soundtrack hit from a movie of the same name. For what it's worth, they did start using Everybody Have Fun in ads about a year later.
Everybody have fun tonight. Look at what the night like. Need a little night like.
The next track comes from Foreigner, and it's off their best record, 4. It's the opening track on that album, so it's one of the stronger ones, and I think it's a good fit here. Alright, what's next? Okay, I haven't heard this one before. Apparently it's from a movie called The Heavenly Kid, which I have also not heard of. But I will say, after watching a few clips, it looks like complete garbage. Well, it's not a bad song, but it doesn't seem to be the one that even fans of the movie remember fondly. The lyrics seem to be appropriate for what Michelob was trying to build here, at least until you get to the chorus. If you're drinking a bunch of Michelob, the last thing you should do is go out cruising in your car. So I'm not going to slam the song itself, but I don't think it's a good fit here.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. This song is fucking awesome. I gotta say I'm glad Michelob found some room in this project for a true golden oldie like this. This is one of the best songs of the 1960s, and a perfect song for a party.
I told you in the midnight hour. You know the nighttime now is the right time to be with the one you love now.
Oh wow, this is a real golden oldie. It's from the 50s. Lord knows I would never say anything sideways about Ray Charles, and it doesn't quite match the energy of the other songs here. Don't get me wrong, this is definitely in the pantheon of great songs from the 1950s. It just feels a little lackluster immediately following a powerhouse like In the Midnight Hour. I guess I'm torn on this one. Maybe it would have fit better in a different place on the tape. Okay, that was the first side. So let's flip it over and see what starts off side 2.
I move better in the night. I won't stop until the daylight.
Okay, this is actually from one of the commercials. It was originally from Roger Daltrey's solo album, Under a Raging Moon, and I like this one a lot. Lyrically appropriate and a high-energy rock number. Good choice to open side B. Alright, what's next? Hell yeah! Great pick! This might be the best song here. How did they not use this song for one of the commercials? I hate to say it, but I think Laura Branigan is a little overlooked today. At least partially because, tragically, she died quite young. So kudos to Michelob for grabbing a cool song like this. For me, this is the highlight of the tape. When I initially looked at this tape, I thought this was Bob Seger's Night Moves. And then I was happy to find out that it wasn't. I do like that song, but lyrically and thematically, it does not belong in this collection. Now this song, by Marilyn Martin, has definitely been lost to time. But as a fan of 80s pop rock, I'm enjoying this. She's like a discount version of Pat Benatar. Okay, let's wrap this up. Well, this is certainly a blast of 80s R&B production. Definitely a good party song, so it fits the mood here. Chaka Khan was a nice get. So that's the 1987 tape. I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting the diversity of talent and style on this tape, given that most of the commercials featured classic rock guys. Eric Clapton, Phil Collins, Roger Daltrey, and Steve Winwood. So I will reluctantly give Michelob some credit for being more inclusive here. Missed an opportunity with the TV ads, however. Chaka Khan and Laura Branigan would have definitely sold some beer. Now on the flip side, I am still confused about why more songs from the actual commercials aren't here. There's only 2, and technically, when this was released, there was only one, Daltrey's. So where was Tonight, Tonight, Tonight by Genesis? and Talking Back to the Night by Steve Winwood. Michelob didn't just use those songs, they also sponsored the 1986 tours for those artists, implying a larger partnership than just a licensing deal.
Free Genesis tour poster available.
Both of those songs should have been here, and to make room, I would have cut Cruisin' Tonight and, I hate to say it, but probably the Ray Charles song. I don't think I would have been alone on that take, because Michelob made some very noticeable changes for the 1988 version of Night Hits. So let's take a look. Hit it!
At the midnight, baby, gonna let it all hang out.
There we go. This is probably the best song from the whole campaign. I said in a previous video that this is one of my favorite Eric Clapton songs, so I'm glad to see it here. Next. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the ad that started it all, by the way. Probably the best commercial of the bunch, despite the lyrics being woefully inappropriate for a beer commercial. The song is actually about drug addiction, which makes the whole thing a little tacky. Oh, and here's that Roger Daltrey song again. It looks like they're putting all the songs from the commercial on this tape, so I guess that's fine. But that's the end of side A. Oh man, this is a short tape. Okay, let's see what's on side B. Finally, some Steve Winwood. Although I gotta wonder about the song selection. This tape was released the same year Winwood scored a top 10 hit with Don't You Know What the Night Can Do, which was also used in a Michelob commercial. I think this tape would have been a bit more impressive if they had used a more current and more successful hit like that.
Stranger to you and me.
I can't say I'm surprised to see that this song was used in the ads, but I'm not really happy to see it here, because it's like, too obvious. I mean, this has to be the single most overplayed song of the 1980s. Alright, who's left? Frank Sinatra? Wang Chung?
I'm rest of the night flight. Hello, Baton Rouge. Won't you turn your radio down?
Ronald Fagan? What the hell is this? This song wasn't in any of the commercials. And I don't like Steely Dan, so this is annoying. Tape's too short to get the whole run of commercial songs, and they take up a spot with this one at the end? Stupid. So those are the two versions of Michelob Night Hits. If I had to pick, I'd probably say I prefer the first one, if only for the variety. But if you're a big fan of the commercials, you'd want the second one. But it doesn't really matter. Both of these are just collector's items now. So what was the point of all this? Well, I think it's kind of interesting that a series of commercials actually resulted in a music product. And these tapes weren't the only product. In 1988, Michelob created a late-night television program called Sunday Night, which was later retitled Night Music, with Lorne Michaels producing. It featured musical performances from a wide variety of artists. It only ran for 2 years, but you can find a lot of the episodes on YouTube. And this wasn't just another commercial. This was a good opportunity for some artists to get their songs on TV. They might not have had a chance otherwise, so I give Michelob props for this show. Unfortunately, a couple of the artists we discussed today did experience some fallout. For starters, Eric Clapton entered rehab for alcoholism. At the same time his commercials were airing on TV. Needless to say, that was a really bad look for this ad campaign, especially considering how many print ads they used him in as well. Steve Winwood voiced some frustration with how Michelob used his single Don't You Know What the Night Can Do, as they aired a commercial with the song before Winwood had released it as a single. Winwood complained that this made it look like he had written the song specifically for the commercial instead of Michelob just licensing it from him. This is actually one of the biggest controversies in Steve Winwood's awesome life. Winwood also did not appreciate the criticism he got from the press for even allowing his songs to be in these ads in the first place. And it wasn't just the critics giving Steve the business.
Ain't singing for Miller. Don't sing for Bud.
In 1989, Neil Young released this song, which roasted every artist that participated in these sort of commercials. Obviously, Neil did not kill the practice of using artists in beverage advertisements, but it was a good reminder that it doesn't matter how cool the ad makes you look. At the end of the day, it's a commercial.
Why? The night belongs to Michelob.
Ugh. And given what a crap product Michelob was then and is still now, well, Neil was right. It makes you look like a joke.
Look like a joke. There's notes for you.
I'm not just playing it up for the camera. Michelob is a shitty beer. And I'm still gonna drink it. I mean, I bought it for this video. Ooh, here we go. So you want to hear the awful noise this thing makes when I try to fast forward? It should make that noise.
Well, it's not a fight, and I'm not your captive. Turn me loose to